Ferrari. The name itself is synonymous with racing, with passion, with an almost operatic level of drama. But buried beneath the horsepower, the history, and the expectation, whispers started to echo from Italy. Whispers that could shake the very foundations of Maranello. Rumors suggesting the unthinkable. Fred Vasseur, the man tasked with leading the most iconic team in Formula One, was gone. But wait a minute. Just when the tabloids were printing the headlines, just as the doom and gloom narrative was taking hold, a familiar voice cut through the noise. Not confirming the fears, but crushing them. The voice of Lewis Hamilton. The fuse was lit by reports trickling out of the Italian press, specifically Corriere della Sera, painting a picture of discontent and a potential power struggle within the hallowed halls of the Scuderia. The word on the street, or more accurately, in the racing paddocks and on the digital airwaves, was that Fred Vasseur, relatively new in his role despite the immense pressure cooker he'd stepped into, might be on the chopping block. And the alleged replacement? None other than Antonello Coletta, the head of Ferrari's GT racing programs, a figure known within the motorsport world, but certainly not a name that screamed Formula One team principal savior to the broader audience. Think of it like hearing the Dallas Cowboys might replace their head coach mid-season with someone who coaches their minor league baseball team. It just didn't quite track on the surface, yet the rumor mill, fueled by the ever-present desire for Ferrari drama, went into overdrive. Suddenly, every small setback was amplified. Every quiet moment interpreted as tension, every sideways glance evidence of a rift. The narrative quickly solidified: Ferrari is in chaos. Vasseur is out. Internal turmoil is rampant. It felt like a primetime drama unfolding in real time. The kind of cliffhanger that leaves fans refreshing their news feeds every 5 minutes, desperately waiting for the next plot twist. The implication was clear. The promise of stability, the kind Vasseur was brought in to build and the kind Lewis Hamilton would undoubtedly require for his seismic 2025 move, was already crumbling. It was the classic Ferrari soap opera script, dusted off and ready for another run, and the media, both mainstream and social, were lining up for their tickets. The airwaves crackled with speculation. Pundits debated, fan forums exploded, all based on whispers and reports that lacked official confirmation but carried the weight of potential disaster for the sport's most scrutinized team. The stability Vasseur and by proxy Hamilton were supposedly banking on seemed to be dissolving before everyone's eyes, replaced by the familiar, unsettling specter of Maranello's famous internal politics. But then, a voice cut through the drama, sharp and decisive, the kind of voice that carries the weight of 7 world championships. Speaking at the Canadian Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton didn't just address the rumors, he annihilated them. With the kind of directness and disdain usually reserved for unfair penalties or poorly performing tires, he labeled the reports surrounding Vasseur's potential exit as nonsense. Think of it as Hamilton dropping an unexpected, game-winning three-pointer with the clock winding down. It wasn't just a statement, it was a definitive shutdown. He wasn't confirming anything close to a crisis. He was actively refuting it, pushing back against a narrative that felt designed to sow discord, and he didn't stop there. Hamilton went on to deliver what amounted to a ringing endorsement of the man supposedly on his way out. He explicitly stated that Fred Vasseur was the reason why he was moving to Ferrari in 2025. Not just a reason, but the reason. Let that sink in for a second. The greatest driver of his generation, making perhaps the biggest team switch in F1. History is saying the French team principal is the gravitational pull, the North Star of this audacious move. In the context of rumors saying that very man was being shown the door, Hamilton's words weren't just a denial. They were a declaration of loyalty and a bold counter-narrative to the whispers of instability. He was essentially calling out the rumor mongers, saying, "You think there's turmoil? You think the boss is leaving? Guess again. I'm coming here because of him." This wasn't just a polite correction. It was a public dismantling of the speculative house of cards that the media had been building. It completely upended the dominant storyline. Instead of Vasseur is out, Ferrari is in chaos. The new headline, dictated by Hamilton, became Vasseur is staying, Hamilton is coming because of him, and everyone else needs to calm down. His words served as a powerful reality check, a dose of cold water on the overheated engine of Ferrari drama. It signaled that, from Hamilton's perspective, the future of Ferrari under Vasseur was not uncertain, but a key factor in his own future. It was a move straight out of the veteran leader playbook, stepping up, taking control of the narrative, and defending his guy against baseless attacks. He wasn't playing coy or adding fuel to the fire. He was wielding his considerable influence to extinguish it, using his own monumental transition as the ultimate proof against the rumors. His message was clear. The foundation he's betting his final F1 act on isn't crumbling. It's being built with Vasseur at the helm, and anyone suggesting otherwise? Pure, unadulterated nonsense. And it wasn't just Lewis Hamilton pushing back. The man at the center of the storm, Fred Vasseur himself, stepped up to the microphone to deliver his own equally emphatic denial. If Hamilton's response was the unexpected three-pointer, Vasseur's was the stern locker room speech. From the coach, direct, unwavering, and leaving no room for misinterpretation. He didn't mince words. He called the rumors totally baseless, and perhaps more tellingly, highlighted the true cost of such rampant speculation. It damages the team's morale. Think about that for a second. In the high-octane, high-pressure world of Formula One, where split-second decisions and unwavering trust between colleagues are paramount, having persistent rumors swirling about the boss being on his way out, that's like trying to run a Fortune 500 company while management is constantly briefing employees about potential layoffs. It introduces uncertainty, erodes confidence, and makes everyone look over their shoulder instead of looking forward. Vasseur, with the calm authority of a man who knows the stakes, made it clear that these reports weren't just annoying. They were actively detrimental to the incredibly delicate ecosystem of a top F1 team fighting for every tenth of a second. He wasn't just defending his job. He was defending the mental fortitude and unity of his entire squad. And he didn't stand alone. Charles Leclerc, the undisputed golden boy of Ferrari's recent past, and the teammate Hamilton will be joining, also threw his full support behind Vasseur. Leclerc, known for his intense focus and loyalty to the Scuderia, echoed the sentiment of unity and stability. He made it clear that from his perspective, within the garages, within the strategy meetings, within the heart of the team, there was no sense of a leader on the brink. Both Hamilton and Leclerc, arguably the two most important figures in Ferrari's immediate future, were presenting a united front, a brick wall against the tide of speculation. This wasn't just polite lip service. It was a deliberate and concerted effort to control the narrative, to squash the rumors before they could truly fester and spread like wildfire through the team and the fan base. It was a direct contradiction to the initial reports of internal turmoil. The image being projected wasn't one of a crumbling leadership structure, but of a team principal supported by his star drivers, focused on the task at hand. This public display of unity from both the incoming legend and the established homegrown talent was a powerful counterpoint to the anonymous sources and speculative articles that had kicked off the whole frenzy. It underscored the idea that the perceived crisis wasn't originating from within the team itself, but being fabricated or at least heavily amplified from the outside. The message from Maranello, amplified by its most prominent voices, was loud and clear. The rumors are false, the team is united, and Vasseur is going nowhere. Now, let's zoom out for a second, shall we? Let's look at this whole episode through the lens of F1 media and the almost insatiable appetite for drama, especially when it involves Ferrari. Because what happened here wasn't just a rumor. It was a masterclass in how quickly a speculative narrative can take root and spread like wildfire despite a complete lack of credible evidence. It's the F1 equivalent of a juicy celebrity gossip story. Everyone wants to believe it. Everyone wants to share it, and the truth? The truth often gets buried under the clickbait headlines. Think of the way sports talk radio jumps on a single. Anonymous source claiming a superstar is unhappy. Or how quickly a minor league baseball game can briefly become national news after an on-field brawl. It's that same chaotic energy, that rush to judgment, but on a global stage with millions of dollars and reputations on the line. And Ferrari? Ferrari is the ultimate magnet for that energy. The history, the passion, the pressure it creates. This unique environment where even the faintest whisper can be amplified into a full-blown crisis. It's the motorsport version of the constant, swirling political drama in Washington, D.C., where every perceived misstep is dissected ad nauseam. Every quiet period is assumed to be hiding some deep, dark secret. And into this chaotic storm step the pundits, the insiders, the social media experts, all armed with hot takes and zero facts, ready to declare Vasseur done, Ferrari in shambles, and Hamilton's move already a disaster. It's almost comical, frankly, the speed at which people were writing Vasseur's professional obituary based on unverified reports. Ferrari's leadership is cracking. They screamed, Hamilton is walking into a dumpster fire. They declared. It was the kind of over-the-top reaction that makes you wonder if they even watched the races, if they saw the quiet progress being made, if they considered for a second that maybe, just maybe, the team principals and drivers actually know more about what's going on than someone tweeting from their couch. It's the equivalent of watching LeBron James drop 50, and then immediately saying his career is over because he missed a free throw. The desire for conflict, for controversy, is so high that it blinds people to the actual reality unfolding before them. And in this instance, the reality was two of the sport's biggest figures, a reigning legend and the team's future cornerstone, standing shoulder to shoulder with the man supposedly on his way out. But hey, why let facts get in the way of a good story about internal turmoil and imminent disaster, right? The irony here is thick enough to cut with a Scuderia red knife. All that breathless speculation, all that dramatic pronouncement of Vasseur's demise, and the guy who was supposed to confirm the fears ended up being the one to shut it all down, calling it out for the nonsense it was. It's almost a slap in the face to those who were so eager to jump on the chaos narrative. You think you know what's happening inside Ferrari? Hamilton's response effectively said, think again. And while you're at it, maybe stop getting your news from anonymous internet forums. It highlighted how easily media narratives can be constructed and disseminated, particularly around a team like Ferrari, where the pressure and the spotlight are always at max intensity. It was a stark reminder that in the world of F1, especially concerning the Scuderia, you have to take every report, every rumor, every dramatic headline with a healthy dose of skepticism, because as this episode clearly demonstrated, what you hear might be the exact opposite of what's actually going on. The real story wasn't the alleged crisis. It was how quickly the crisis narrative was manufactured and subsequently dismantled by the very people at its center. And this is where we see the difference between a driver and a legend. While others might have stayed silent, let the rumors swirl, maybe even subtly fueled the speculation to gain some leverage, Lewis Hamilton did the opposite. He didn't just deny the rumors. He used his immense platform, his unparalleled influence in the sport, to actively defend the man supposedly on the hot seat. This wasn't just a press conference soundbite. This was an act of leadership. This was a 7-time world champion, the future face of ScuderiaFerrari, stepping up and saying, "This man is my guy. These rumors are false. Stop it." Imagine another driver, maybe one struggling for results or trying to carve out their own space, being faced with similar whispers about their team boss. Would they so emphatically shut it down? Would they risk being associated with a potentially doomed leader? Maybe, maybe not, but Hamilton didn't hesitate. It speaks volumes about his character, his commitment not just to the contract he signed, but to the project he's joining. He's not just coming to Ferrari to drive a car. He's coming to be a part of rebuilding something, and he clearly sees Vasseur as instrumental to that. It's a far cry from the narrative some tried to push, painting him as walking into a chaotic mess that he was somehow confirming by even addressing it. No, this looked like LeBron James at 38, taking control of the tempo, making the crucial pass, hitting the winning shot, not because he's chasing individual glory, but because he's committed to the team's success. Legends don't just perform. They lead. They shape the environment around them. They use their gravitas not just on track, but off it. And Hamilton, by so forcefully pushing back against the Vasseur rumors and linking his own moves so directly to the Frenchman, demonstrated that same level of leadership. He wasn't confirming doom. He was proclaiming faith. He wasn't validating the crisis merchants. He was silencing them. He was showing, without question, that he is not just a passenger. On this ride to 2025, he is a driving force, and Fred Vasseur is riding shotgun with him. It was a powerful reminder that despite the noise, the speculation, and the ever-present desire for a dramatic fall, Lewis Hamilton remains a figure of immense stature and influence, capable of shifting the narrative with a few well-chosen words. And in this instance, those words weren't confirming fears. They were extinguishing them while simultaneously reinforcing his commitment to the Ferrari project and the man leading it. It's the kind of move that solidifies his legendary status, not just for what he does in the cockpit, but for how he handles the swirling chaos that is F1 outside of it. He didn't confirm Vasseur's exit. He confirmed Vasseur's importance to him and to the future of Ferrari. So, here's the bottom line. Let's cut through the noise and get straight to it. Like a perfect tire strategy finally paying off. Despite the frantic headlines, the breathless speculation, and the almost desperate attempt by some to declare Ferrari once again in crisis mode and Fred Vasseur already packing his bags, that isn't what happened. Not at all. There was absolutely no confirmed crisis, no official statement about a replacement, nothing concrete to suggest the ship was sinking. In fact, the guy at the center of the storm, the soon-to-be biggest addition to that ship, Lewis Hamilton, didn't confirm the fears at all. Let's be crystal clear on this. Lewis Hamilton did not, I repeat, did not confirm Fred Vasseur's exit. What he did, in front of the world and with the weight of his reputation, was the exact opposite. He actively, forcefully, and unequivocally defended him. He called the rumors nonsense. He stated that Vasseur was the reason he was coming to Ferrari. This wasn't confirmation of doom. This was a public vote of supreme confidence. It was like watching the quarterback silence the sideline hecklers by throwing a touchdown pass. A definitive answer that killed the narrative dead in its tracks. And the team? Far from appearing fragmented and in turmoil, the evidence suggests the exact opposite. Vasseur himself denied the rumors, highlighting the morale damage they cause. Charles Leclerc publicly voiced his support. The message from within Maranello is one of unity and focus, heading directly into the crucial upcoming races. They aren't limping into the next Grand Prix under a cloud of leadership uncertainty. They're presenting a united front. The crisis we were told was unfolding? It looks like it was a media-manufactured drama, quickly debunked by the very people it claimed were in turmoil. Hamilton didn't validate the speculation. He annihilated it. He didn't confirm Vasseur was on his way out. He confirmed Vasseur is the man he's building the future with. The narrative of chaos didn't come from within. It was a story written from the outside looking in, and Hamilton just tore up the script. All signs point to a team focused, united, and pushing forward with Vasseur still firmly at the helm, backed by his star drivers Dodd, and that, right there, is the full picture. This wasn't Hamilton confirming some dreaded secret. It was him reaffirming his commitment, his belief in the project, and in the man leading it. It's another chapter in the Hamilton saga, proving that even outside the cockpit, he shapes the narrative. What do you think about this whole situation? Was the media jumping the gun on Vasseur? Is this show of unity real or just damage control? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to see more deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You don't want to miss what happens next.